Hey guys, Bobby Thompson back with another video, and in this video I wanted to discuss how to do an honest investigation into Flat Earth. And before we get started, as always, I want to share my favorite quote, which is from René Descartes, and it states, "If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things." So with that said, let's get started. Why does it matter? This is the worst question you can ask yourself, and probably the biggest inhibitor to finding the truth. You have to put this as far out of your head as you can. Don't worry about why it matters. It does matter, and it's probably the biggest leap forward you could take in your journey of being a truther. But trying to answer this question before your investigation will just hold you back. Forget everything you know. The lie, obviously, for the flat earth to be true, and assuming that the spherical earth is a lie, it would have been very carefully thought out. And everything you know is a problem in your understanding the flat earth cosmology. For example, if someone's trying to show you the flat earth model and you think that the sun can hold 4 million Earths, that's a problem. How could that be circling above our flat earth? So you have to forget everything. Start from the supposition that the earth is flat. So if you were born and grew up in this world and were never taught anything about the cosmology of the earth, you would believe it's a flat earth. You've only seen a flat horizon. If you go out and look at the water, look at the ocean, it's flat from side to side. So if you're going to do a fair investigation, to be fair to both sides, you've had how many decades of indoctrination, of education, and all that plays against your investigation, right? So forget everything. Don't worry about why. Start from the supposition that the earth is flat. This is probably the hardest thing to do, is to find some respected resources, some reliable resources. If you do a YouTube search or a Google search, you're only going to get controlled opposition. And that's a problem, right? That should be a red flag there. In 2015, if you searched YouTube, Flat Earth was killing the results. Videos were getting millions of views, and it was taking over the world. There was a year where Flat Earth was just exploding. So they took away this corner for flat earthers to speak, if you will, because it was too strong. The evidence was too easily to get at. So this is your first struggle, is to find respected resources. I'm going to share below this video a long list of resources that I find to be reliable, right? That I find to be, they do real world experiments. They do investigation. They do, they put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into their videos, and I think that they're speaking truth. So I'll share that below. And understand that when you're out there searching, controlled opposition is very real. A perfect example of this is the Flat Earth Society. So when search results finally do give you that one, when you scroll past Professor Dave and Brian Cox and Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson and so on, and you get to the Flat Earth Society, just understand that that's one of theirs as well, right? So you'll hear this if you were to do enough research and become part of the Flat Earth community. You'd know that nobody supports them. So why would they come up high in the results? Why would they be the first representation of flat earth? That's obviously intentional and should be another red flag. They They spew a lot of nonsense. They talk about flat Earth being a disk in space. Nobody believes that. Nobody. So going up at 9.7 meters a second, whatever it is, just there's not a single flat earther that believes anything they say. So again, controlled opposition is real. And then your first real task should be to understand the model. This is not the model. So if this is not the model, why is this all you see when you do a search? If I do a Google search, why is this all I see? That should be a red flag. If we don't believe this, why are you seeing it? No flat earther believes flat Earth is in space and is floating around with other planets. That's a red flag. So if you go to a site or a channel and it has this as their logo, or it's promoting this, that's a red flag, and there's probably a better source. I'm sure there's a better source you can go to. No flat earther believes this. No true flat earther. So learn the arguments. Learn the arguments and apply Occam's razor. So Occam's razor is a principle of theory construction or evaluation according to which, other things equal, explanations that posit fewer entities or fewer kinds of entities are to be preferred to explanations that posit more. So what's that mean? It means the simpler explanation is to be preferred, right? An example. One of the arguments of globe earthers is eclipses. Well, every X amount of years, I don't remember if it's 5 or 15 or whatever it is, there's a selenilian eclipse. We can predict it. We know when the next one is coming. There's video of it many times over. And during this eclipse, the sun and moon are both visible. Yet the moon gets eclipsed, right? And science has a crazy explanation that for whatever reason, the sun's rays are refracting under the bottom of the earth and coming back up to eclipse the moon. It's I mean, if you're going to believe that an eclipse is a result of the earth coming between the sun and moon, right? That is a standard eclipse, lunar eclipse. Then how are you going to believe that the sun rays can bend around the bottom of the earth? So again, Occam's razor. For me, every argument, the globe Earth position is a more convoluted position every time. Debunk the debunks. This should be an eye-opener. One thing you should never find when you're researching this fringe conspiracy theory is a debunk of a legitimate debunk. And what I mean by that is, if National Geographic or PBS or some other legitimate broadcasting service or channel comes out and does a flat Earth debunk, you shouldn't be able to debunk that, right? That should be well done. And every one I've seen has been debunked. I have not yet to see one. Now, that's something you're not going to find if you just do a day or 2 days or 3 days of research, right? It's going to take time to find those. But if you find a good resource, if you find a good, and there are many out there, there's many channels that are giving out this information, they can share it with you. The problem is it gets taken down. It gets either pushed way down in the results, and in most cases taken down. So if you find that, and you always will, that should set off a red flag. You should never be able to debunk the debunk. And in my opinion, every time you can. I have yet to see a debunk that hasn't been debunked. So in closing, there's a great application out there. I'm not associated or affiliated in any way with Deep in the Rabbit Hole or David Weiss. I did learn a lot from him. I continue to learn from him and many other people. who I try to give credit to, but he's one of the few people that has a very convenient way of sharing it. There's an application you can load on your phone called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, and he shares a video a day. And if you just watch one video a day, after 10 days, you'll see the truth, right? So he's one of the people who's giving out that information that, in my opinion, you can trust. So just a resource. Again, I'm going to post a ton of resources below, and feel free to reach out to me, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.